My name is Daniel Ruth. I'm a licensed nursing home administrator in the state of California, and I am the principal of my own company, DRR and Associates, DBA Dignity Life. I was initially attracted to moving into the field of senior living and healthcare administration as a result of the work of my father. I watched my father from when I was a young child all the way until I was in high school and college and so forth. And so I really wanted to work with other people and help older adults live their best lives. So the components that are involved in the design and development of a senior living community include, but are not limited to, the following. One is lighting. Lighting is absolutely critical to an older adult. As they age, their eyesight changes and in many instances gets worse. And so we have to take that into account when we design not only their particular apartments, but the common areas that will be utilized by the older adults. In addition to lighting, there's color, there's ways in which we baffle noise, because at the end of the day, ultimately what we're trying to create is an extremely inviting environment. And so when we design and develop a senior living community, we want to make sure that it feels as residential as possible and not institutional. And so these other factors in the design and development are all ideally contributing to that goal. I've been fortunate in my life to be part of a number of very significant, at least in my view, interesting projects. One is right here in the Bay Area, down in the Palo Alto area. The Jewish community sponsored the creation of not only a senior living community, but a community that would also be intergenerational in nature and would welcome children. There are classes in the morning for children. So it really contributed to this multi-generational campus, which for the Bay Area and for the Jewish community specifically was very unique. The Palo Alto project, referred to as the Toby Carret Campus for Jewish Living, and our particular component was referred to as Moldau Residences. So the rationale for wanting to create a multi-generational campus is that we have seen, and it's been well documented in the literature and the research, that older adults respond very well to having children in their environment. It can be in the form of older adults helping to teach children how to do their homework. The reverse of that can also be true, as many of our older adults are not that fluent in technology, so a number of the younger children are able to sit with these older adults. In many instances, it feels like they're sitting with their grandparents, and they're teaching them how to use their computer so that they're able to communicate through FaceTime and other ways. If I were going to give advice to a younger person, and by the way, that's a key component of the work that I now do as I am mentoring younger adults, those individuals who are in their 30s and 40s, to assist and support them as they think about a future career in senior living and healthcare administration. And so the piece of advice that I would give them, and it's pretty straightforward, is I once heard the line that if you love what you're doing, you'll never work a day in your life. And I have found that to be true. This is very difficult work. The senior living world is one of the most highly regulated industries, bar none, in the United States. So it's difficult work. And so it is really important that you enjoy working with older adults and their families. And as importantly, if not more importantly, that you are there and you derive great enjoyment in coaching and teaching the next generation of healthcare leadership. We financially support not-for-profit senior living communities. So one of the ways that we give back is financially, because this industry is generally underfunded by both the state and federal governments. And so it really depends on philanthropic dollars in order to provide a level of care and service that we can all be proud of. So that's one way. The second way, and equally important, is mentoring. It's mentoring the next generation of licensed nursing home administrators. It's mentoring director of nursing. They may well know the technical aspects of the regulation, but where the mentoring comes in is coaching and helping them to work with others in order to realize the goals and the outcomes that you're seeking. So working with the next generation of healthcare administrators in the senior living world is an area that I particularly derive great joy. So my plans for the future include, and it changes from time to time, to be honest with you, but I see myself working for another 7 to 10 years. At the age of 64 and in good health and still loving and being passionate about the work, I see myself doing this for 7 to 10 years. So the question is, doing what? And the doing what is really focusing on, one, mentoring, as I've previously mentioned, the next generation of healthcare leadership. And secondly, I want to help older adults and their families navigate the very difficult path that is our healthcare system. And so based on my 20 years of experience in California and another 15 to 20 elsewhere in the United States and in Canada, I feel I have the knowledge and the experience to assist older adults and their family members to figure out how to navigate the healthcare system. I like to think my greatest notable endeavors are in my rearview mirror, and they include running marathons and half marathons. However, as I'm aging, my back is causing me all kinds of challenges, and so I've had to replace that joy with something else. And thank goodness my granddaughter Ava came along. My wife and I feel so fortunate to have not only a beautiful family that includes our children, but now to have a grandchild, granddaughter, and playing with her and helping her mature and grow over time. I think that's where we'll derive some great joy. The one experience that really, I'm not sure if it taught me the most, but it ultimately infused tremendous confidence that I had in myself, such that any subsequent challenge that might come along professionally, I would feel confident that I'd be able to handle it. So what was the issue? The issue was when Governor Jerry Brown was in office, he was poised to eliminate a good portion of the skilled nursing or nursing home industry. And I had the opportunity of working with the unions, going to Sacramento, lobbying for financial support for the nursing home industry so that nursing homes around the state would not be adversely affected. And we were very fortunate to be successful. It involved, as I said, not only working with the unions, working with boards of directors of nonprofits around the country, around California, working with for-profit organizations, and we all had different goals and objectives. But when it came to this particular issue, which was to literally save the nursing home industry in California, we bonded together and were successful. And again, what I want to reiterate about this is the work was so intense for a period of time where we even were wondering whether our organization would go into bankruptcy. But by lobbying, by working with the unions, by working with not-for-profits and for-profits around the state, we all came together and we were able to fortunately change Governor Brown's mind about what he had in store for the nursing home sector. One of the projects that I was involved with, which was noteworthy for that community, was the work that I did in Kansas. And this is where the Jewish Federation and a number of the Jewish agencies and organizations wanted to be situated on the same campus. And we wanted to have a senior living component be a strategic part of that campus because of the fact that we know of the value that intergenerational campuses bring to children all the way up to and including older adults. And so the project that was ultimately completed in Overland Park, Kansas, was a multi-generational campus. And what was noteworthy is it was the first time in the Jewish community that all of these different agencies and organizations that previously had been stacked in silos and didn't work effectively with each other were now going to be poised to be highly effective in their work because they would all be situated on the same campus. And not only were there cost savings that were beneficial to all the different agencies, but I think more importantly, the value really came to the people that we were serving, the children and the older adults. In terms of my legacy, that's difficult for me to talk about. I'm shy I'm looking for a word. I don't typically talk about myself, so talking about my legacy is an interesting conversation. Let me say this about my legacy. One, and maybe the most important part of my legacy, is my son is now going to be the third generation in senior living healthcare administration at the highest levels. He's currently a chief operating officer, and he has a desire to ultimately become the chief executive officer. And my son is, and I get it, he's my son, but I've watched him work very closely over about an 8-year period. He is extremely talented, and he is further along in his professional development at his age than I was at a comparable age. So my son is part of my legacy. In a non-professional way, my children and my grandchildren I look to be the most important parts of my legacy.